In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit. Not a nasty, dirty, wet hole, filled with ends of worms and an oozing smell, nor yet a dry, bare, sandy hole with nothing in it to sit down on or eat. It was a hobbit hole, and that means comfort. It had a perfect round door like a porthole, painted green with a shiny yellow brass knob in the exact middle. The door opened onto a tube-shaped hall like a tunnel, a very comfortable tunnel without smoke, with paneled walls and floors tiled and carpeted, provided with polished chairs and lots of pegs for hats and coats. The hobbit was fond of visitors. The tunnel wound on and on, going fairly but not quite straight into the side of the hill. The hill, as all the people from many miles around called it, and many little round doors opened out of it, first on one side, then on another. No going upstairs for the hobbit. Bedrooms, bathrooms, cellars, pantries, there were lots of these. Wardrobes, he had whole rooms devoted to clothes. Kitchens, dining rooms, all were on the same floor, and indeed on the same passage. The best rooms were all on the left-hand side, going in, for these were the only ones to have windows, deep-set round windows looking over his garden and meadows beyond, sloping down to the river. This hobbit was a very well-to-do hobbit, and his name was Baggins. The Bagginses had lived in the neighborhood of the hill for time out of mind, and people considered them very respectable, not only because most of them were rich, but also because they had never had any adventures or did anything unexpected. You could tell what a Baggins would say on any question without the bother of asking him. This is a story of how a Baggins had an adventure, and found himself doing and saying things altogether unexpected. He may have lost the neighbor's respect, but he gained. Well, you will see whether he gained anything in the end. By some curious chance, one morning long ago in the quiet of the world, when there was less noise and more green, and the hobbits were still numerous and prosperous, and Bilbo Baggins was standing at his door after breakfast smoking an enormous long wooden pipe that reached nearly down to his woolly toes, Gandalf came by. Gandalf, if you have heard only a quarter of what I have heard about him, and I have heard very little of all there is to hear, you would be prepared for any sort of remarkable tale. Tales and adventures sprouted up all over the place wherever he went, in the most extraordinary fashion. He had not been down that way under the hill for ages, not since his friend the old Took died. In fact, and the hobbits had almost forgotten what he looked like. He had been away, over the hill and across the water, on business of his own, since they were all small hobbit boys and hobbit girls. All that the unexpecting Bilbo saw that morning was an old man with a staff. He had a tall, pointed blue hat, a long gray cloak, a silver scarf over which his long white beard hung down below his waist, and immense black boots.
Good morning.
What do you mean? Do you wish me a good morning, or mean that it is a good morning whether I want it or not? Or that you feel good on this morning, or that it is a morning to be good on?
All of them at once. And a very fine morning for a pipe. Out on the doors, into the bargain. If you have your pipe with you, sit down for a while. There's no hurry. We have all day before us.
Very pretty. But I have no time to blow smoke rings this morning. I am looking for someone to share in an adventure that I am arranging. and it is very difficult to find anyone.
Well, you think so? In these parts, we are plain quiet folk, and have no use for adventures. Nasty, disturbing, uncomfortable things. Makes right for dinner. I can't think what anybody sees in them.
Blowing one final smoke ring, Bilbo took out his morning letters and began to read, pretending to take no more notice of the old man. He had decided that he was not quite his sort, and wanted him to go away. But the old man did not move. He stood leaning on his stick, gazing at the hobbit without saying anything, till Bilbo got quite uncomfortable, and even a little cross.
Well, good morning. But we don't have any adventurers here. Thank you. You might try over the hill and over the water.
What a lot of things you use good morning for. Now you mean that you want to be rid of me, and it won't be good till I move off.
No, not at all. Let me see. I don't think I know your name.
Yes, I do, sir. I do know your name, Mr. Bilbo Baggins, and you know mine, though you don't remember I belong to it. I am Gandalf, and Gandalf means me. But to think I should have lived to be good morning by Belladonna Took's son, as if I was selling buttons at the door.
Gandalf? Good gracious. Not the wandering wizard that gave old Took a pair of magic diamond studs that fastened themselves and never came off until ordered. Not the fellow who used to tell such wondrous tales at parties about dragons and goblins and giants and rescue princesses. Not the man that used to make such particularly excellent fireworks. I remember those. Old Took used to have them on Midsummer's Eve. Splendid. They used to go up like lilies and snapdragons, fire, hang in the twilight all evening. Hold on. Not the Gandalf who's responsible for so many lads and lasses going off into the blue for mad adventures? Anything from climbing trees to visiting elves or sailing in ships, sailing to other shores? Bless me, life used to be quite... you used to upset things quite badly in these parts. Once upon a time, I beg your pardon, but I had no idea you're still in business.
Oh, well, where else shall I be? All the same, I am pleased to find you remember something about me, though you seem to only remember my fireworks, and that is not without hope. Indeed, for your old grandfather's Took's sake, and for the sake of poor Belladonna, I will give you what you have asked for.
I beg your pardon. I haven't asked for anything.
Yes, you have. Twice now. My pardon, I give it to you. In fact, I will go so far as to send you on this adventure. Very amusing for me, and very good for you. And profitable as well, most likely, if you're to get over it.
Sorry, I don't want any adventures, thank you. Not today. Good morning. But please come to tea any time you like. Why not tomorrow? Come tomorrow. Goodbye.
And with that, the hobbit turned and scuttled inside his round green door, and shut it as quickly as he dared, not to seem rude. After all, wizards are wizards.